We call it people technology.
Well, going by recent games at Sharjah and the standards that the Sharjah surface has said, you think this is a mammoth score that KKR have managed in what's a must-win game. After losing the toss, they've got 171. How does that look for Gautam Gambhir? Let's find out on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout. Gauti, 171. If you're KKR, would you take that? Are you pleased by that score?
Oh, absolutely. More than
Hmm.
pleased. And we were talking about getting to 145, 150. They've got 171, which is a very, very good total on this wicket. Plus, they've got three quality spinners now.
Now, is this easier to bat as a surface than the last one, or was it that they batted a lot better than Rajasthan did, or was it that Rajasthan's bowlers didn't make it hard enough for them?
I know I can only say once Rajasthan bats on this wicket because you can only decide or talk about the wicket once both the teams have batted on it. But then, yes, probably a little bit of an ordinary effort from the bowlers as well. And some absolutely shocking changes as well. You finish off Jaydev Unatkar by the 10th over, and then Shivam Dube bowls that one over for five, and then you bring Rahul Tewatia, and you open the
Hmm.
game up completely. Though he took that wicket, but then you bring in Glenn Phillip, and then though he gets a wicket, he goes for 17. Your two spinners
Yeah.
have gone for 28 of their two overs. You can't just afford to open up the game on a ground like this. When you squeeze the opposition, try and keep them in that for as long as possible. In fact, if Shivam Dube could have bowled another one or could have bowled the third
Hmm.
one, there was no need to bowl a spinner because at that stage they were absolutely under control. And see, these are small things. You might just feel that they took a wicket, but then they actually opened the game for KKR as well. And from Nitish Rana's point of view, that he had hit Glenn Phillip for two sixes, but then eventually he was still looking to take him on because he wanted to be as aggressive as he can be. So these things, these small things, can make a huge difference in a contest with the game.
Hmm. No, you're absolutely right. We said on our pre-show, and Gotham pointed that out, that overs between overs say 9 and 15 or 16 could be where this game is decided. Between 10 and 14, Rajasthan have conceded 64. You think in a five-over spell at a low-scoring venue, 64 being conceded when those bowlers that Gotham just mentioned have bowled significant portion of the game. Now, are these pre-set plans? Do they look like pre-set plans to you, Gautam? Okay, let's bowl Jaydev Unadkat out by 10. Let's give an over to the spinners in the middle. No, or is it the kind of thing that you have to put to the impulsiveness and the decision making of a captain? Sanju Samson is still young in his full-time captaincy in the IPL. He's been around the IPL for a while. What do you attribute these kind of odd decisions down to?
I hope it's not pre-decided. I hope it's instinctive because captaincy is all about instincts. And then you can't just keep saying the same thing that he's new to the captaincy. He's played enough cricket. He's played enough domestic cricket. He's played enough IPL cricket. He's just played international cricket. So he should have known by now that what kind of a decisions or what kind of a bowling changes you need to do. Because at the same time, what you've used seven bowlers, which was not required. You had four proper bowlers. You had Sakaria, you had Mustafizur, you had Jaydev and Robin and Chris Morris. And then why do you need to bowl seven bowlers when your fifth bowler could have been Shivam Dube and, for example, Rahul Tewatia? Again, I think sometimes instincts can go the different way, but I don't think so. It was really smart captaincy, to be honest, because Mustafizur, you bring in Mustafizur, he goes for three or four of his over, and you just stop him and then ask him to do the toughest job, that is to bowl three overs in the end. He's the human as well. Probably keep the pressure on when you had the pressure on KKR, though they had not lost any wicket, but run rate was absolutely under control, and things can change very quickly at Sharjah. We had seen that in the past as well, and things did change very quickly, but not from the Rajasthan's point of view, but from the KKR's point of view, and probably these runs are too many.
Samson has enjoyed his best personal season with the bat, ever in the IPL, Gotham. So does that tell you that captaincy may not be as much of a burden of him, or do you feel this is a player? Can you make that judgment early enough that this is a player who perhaps would be better off just batting and keeping? It seems like the keeping's also a bit shabby in the last couple of games.
The best batter cannot be the best captain, and there is no reason for you to decide that. It's like playing a backyard cricket. I remember when I was a young kid, that your
Yeah,
bet, and I'm sure you've gone through the same as
yeah.
well. In a team of 11, the best batsman was the captain unanimously. So there was no debate about it. So unless and until you've got that maturity, unless and until you've got that cricketing game sense is completely different to your talent in your individual skill. So I hope he learns. I'm not going to be too critical about him because this is his first year in captaincy. But then these are changes. which you don't expect from a player who's played a lot of IPL cricket and who's played a lot of domestic cricket, because learning the game can happen at any level. It can happen at a club level. It can happen at if it doesn't have to happen, it doesn't even happen at international level. So there is no guarantee that if you become an international cricketer, you become a better reader of the game. There are some
Yeah.
fabulous readers of the game I've dealt with, I've worked with, I've communicated with, I've had interactions with, who've never gone on to play even enough domestic cricket.
Hmm.
So it's just about reading the game and reading the situation as well. But from that point of view, I thought that Sanju was a little poor. If I have to be really critical about him, because
Yeah.
he had game under his control. They had a very good first 6 overs.
Hmm.
What KKR was 30 something without loss after 6 overs, where we all were expecting that they're going to go
Yeah.
berserk in the first 6 overs. By the end of 10th over, there was 60 something for no loss. Fair enough. Everything was under control. You
Yeah.
can't let the opposition get 110 in the last 10 overs. That's too many runs on a wicket like this, where you've got Mustafizur, Chris Morris, Sakaria, and Jaydev Unatkar. Maximum they should have gone is probably gone to another what? They should have got to 140, 150 maximum, but 170 is a huge total. So from that point of view, poor captaincy according to me.
Yeah, I mean that's the numbers tell you 55 without loss after 9 overs, and then 119 for two at the end of 14 overs. That 5 over spell yielding 63. So that's an important period of the game. You look back at it now. You look at the scoreboard and you think, oh, Shubman Gill's. Everyone's batted around him. He's anchored this inning through. He may even well on to be go on and be man of the match if KKR win this. But those little cameos, Tripathi, Nitish Rana, just making sure that those 5 4 5 overs change the momentum of the game. You'd think those are invaluable in these sorts of innings, aren't they, Gautam?
100% brilliant, and we spoke about this during our pre-show as well, that someone needs to anchor the inning and rest can just go out there and play those cameos, and the only way you can play those cameos are because you've got someone at the other end playing that anchor kind of an inning, and that is exactly what probably now Rajasthan would require. Do they have that arsenal? Do they have that maturity? We will have to wait and watch, because Nitish Rana or Rahul Tripathi or Morgan, Dinesh Karthik, all those guys could bat the way they could because of Shubman Gill, because he was going steady at one end, and that is very important, especially on a surface like this where you need that assurance as well. Hopefully, it's going to be a good game, but then KKR has got a completely different bowling attack. And they've got three quality spinners.
Yeah, this is back-to-back 50s now for Shubman Gill, for someone who's otherwise not at the big score or the telling impact. You think this, in a way, is the kind of surface you expect someone like Shubman Gill to perform on? We've seen players like Steve Smith or even Dhawan, when it's been challenging, you want these players to step up. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But Shubman Gill, if he has to have a long-term impact as a T20 player, these are the sort of innings you want out of him.
I want players who can adapt to any conditions. I don't want players who are just flat track bullies. I want people who can adjust. I want people who've got different techniques, different game as well. And Shubman Gill has got that. Shubman Gill has scored runs on difficult wickets, on slow wickets, and I hope that he keeps improving, because he's had the taste of international cricket. I hope he just uh, improves a lot, technically, mentally, and by reading the game better, and probably go on to become a better cricketer.
Yep. Now, just the 2 overs of spin by Rajasthan. You know that you're likely to get 8 overs at least from KKR and Varun Chakravarti and Sunil Narayan. Sharjah seems like the seamers bowling it into the pitch seems to be more the way to go than a lot of spin. But are Narayan and Chakravarti the kind of form they've been in, the type of spinners that they are, got them likely to get more out of this? How do you see them bowling?
Yeah, because they bowl at a better pace, they bowl wicket to wicket, they don't give you room, and they've got good speeds as well. So it's going to be difficult. See, it's not impossible. Nothing is impossible in this world. You can chase anything. But then, yes, when you've got Varun Chakravarti and Sunil Narayan on this kind of a wicket, it's going to be a huge challenge for Rajasthan Royals. Let's wait and watch, because some really different things and uncertain things have happened. I remember everyone saying that when Chennai got to 190, that's going to be okay, walk in the park, and suddenly Rajasthan got berserk and chased that down in 17 overs. So where things can happen, and probably it's a good game of cricket what we can witness in the second half.
So, what's the team talk if you're in the Rajasthan Royals dugout now? You seem a bit deflated. You're not going to make it through. Unlikely you're going to. I don't think they can make it at all now. Mathematically, it's not even possible. So, what are you going to say to them, especially a team who, like you said, has pulled off a heist in recent memory?
So I'll tell you one thing very clearly. For me, I think it's if you need to motivate someone in the dressing room when they're wearing their jersey, they don't deserve to wear that jersey ever in future. As simple as it gets. You're playing for the jersey, you're playing for the franchise, you've got the opportunity. Not many people, millions and millions of people, or kids sitting at home, are waiting for this kind of an opportunity. So if when everyone talks about this, that how do you motivate a deflated team? There is no such thing called a deflated team. You owe a lot to the franchise. You owe a lot to the owners. You owe a lot to your teammates, and for example, for most importantly, to the fans as well. So if you still need motivation, probably you can do something different, because playing a game of cricket, and that also at this level, does not require any motivation. That itself is a motivation.
All right, brilliant. I was just having a quick look at scenarios. So if you are following the ball by ball commentary, it'll have you covered that if KKR take it to the 11th over, even then, if they're going to lose, at least they'll be better off than the Punjab Kings. That's not what they're thinking of. 170, they want to win this, close this here so that the Mumbai Indians result doesn't matter to them tomorrow. Gautam, you're backing KKR to defend this? If you have to make a prediction?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's pick up the chat at the end of it. Then we will have our playoffs ready on Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricket for T20 timeout. We'll have a chat with Gautam Gambhir. We'll look back at the Rajasthan Royals season as well. And if KKR are to win this, then you think that we've got our lineup for the IPL 2021 playoffs all in order. But stranger things have happened when you least expect them from teams that don't have much to lose. So let's see if the Rajasthan Royals can sign off with a bang and keep the Mumbai Indians interested.
We call it people technology.